So, how did I get a no money down piece of property, real estate that is cash flowing, that is making money, that I had to come in with nothing out of my own pocket? Well, I'll explain. Hey, what's up, everybody? Jesse Mills here, and welcome to the Creative Cash Flow Show. Now, we're going to be talking about secrets on how you achieve time and money freedom through real estate. And I'll tell you what, one of the ways to do that obviously is with passive income, of course, which is cash flow. And you can get great cash flow from short-term rentals, right? And short-term rentals are clearly one of the hottest on the real estate scenes these days, okay? Short-term rentals, everyone wants an Airbnb and is talking about it. And there's all these different ways to get into it. Now, I've been doing it for about 2.5 years, 3 years now at this point. So for me, it's not a totally new thing, right? But it's definitely not something I've got decades of experience in doing. But really before it started getting real hot, okay? Now, I've been pretty fortunate in how I've purchased a lot of my short-term rentals. And the last one I got, well, I should say the last one. Actually, you know what? Two properties ago. The last one I closed on, I literally closed on one yesterday. And it wasn't a no money down deal. It was $8,000 down on a property that I bought. That's $118,000. Okay, $118,000. I paid $8,000 down to get this. No banks. I closed in about a week and a half, directly with the seller. But today, I want to talk about my no money down deal, because that's even cooler than $8,000 down. $8,000 down is awesome, but no money down is killer, right? So how did I get a no money down piece of property, real estate that is cash flowing, that is making money, that I had to come in with nothing out of my own pocket? Well, I'll explain. It really goes to asking the right questions, guys. Honestly, it's just asking the questions. Sometimes people overthink this and overcomplicate things. So here's the thing. If you're listening to this and you're new to my world or new to me or new to real estate, you don't have to always go to a bank to get a mortgage or to get financing, okay? There's a beautiful thing called seller financing. And if you want to get more specific with it, sometimes you might be doing something similar to that, which is a rent to own or contract for deed and land contract subject to. These are all different ways that you can get a property without having to go to the bank and having to ask them for a loan and apply and have them pull your credit and, show them all of your income and assets and go through all of the stuff. You don't need to do that. Okay. Now, will I do that eventually? I will. And I'm okay with that. Okay. So I will eventually do that. Also, you might say, well, Jesse, wow, hold on. I thought you kind of had your stuff together, dude. Like you can't qualify for a loan. Well, number one, there was a point in my life I definitely could not qualify for a loan. That's how I got into this. That's how I started learning about this. Is no way I couldn't. Went through bankruptcy. Happy to share that. Went through a bankruptcy. I went through a short sale on my own freaking house. Okay, because I was a mortgage originator, mortgage broker doing loans back in the crash. And if you don't know, I mean, some billion-dollar banks went bye-bye during the crash, right? So the average Joe who was not prepared and was not thinking about it, like myself and a ton of other people, got wiped out, right? So I had to get back on my feet, and I had to say, okay, I had no money, no credit. How do I learn how to get back in the game and start getting real estate? So I started, doing everything I could to learn about real estate and do probably what you guys are doing, right? Watching YouTube. I'm Googling stuff. I'm picking up books, podcasts. I'm trying to get any information I can. So let's fast forward back to where we're at now. Okay. So do I need to get, contract fees? Do I need to do something where I can't get bank financing? No, I could go get bank financing right now. No problem. I've got multiple banks that I go to all the time to buy deals with on a normal basis. But why would I? Why would I if I don't have to? So let me paint this picture for you. Okay. So it starts with asking the right questions. And one of the right questions is asking the owner of the property that you want to get, or even asking the agent who might be representing the owner, hey, would you be willing to sell your property on terms? would you be willing to be the bank? And they say, well, what do you mean? Right? Most people, what does that even mean? Well, I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to go give them, 4 or 5, 6% interest, every year on my money. And I could give that money to you. What are you going to do with all this money that I give you anyways? Right. And some people are like, oh, Jesse, well, you would ask that? Yeah, damn right I would ask that, because it's a good question. What are they going to do with all the money that they get from you, buying this property from them? Where are they going to put it? And so if you can pay them the same amount of money that they're going to make anyways, or heck, maybe more money than they're going to make anyways, and make it convenient, make it easy, right? Where it's just mailbox money for them. And of course, there's some other advantages as well. There's some tax advantages oftentimes where they might be able to delay some of those gains, right? It's consistent. And they still have collateral. They still have their property. Okay. So it's asking the right question. So number one, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you open to this? Now, I love that question, by the way. Okay. Are you open to this? Because there's a little thing I like to call power questions. Now, power questions are the right words, right? The right words at the right time. Because if I ask somebody, are you open to this? Are you open-minded to this? Nobody wants to say no, right? Nobody wants to say, I'm not open-minded to this, right? So here's a little secret. By saying, hey, would you be open to this, or would you be open to the idea, or open to discussing this? Usually people say, well, yeah, I'm open to discussing it, right? I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no, right? They feel okay with that. So, all right. So asking the question, then you get the first hurdle. Yeah, I'm open to it. Okay, great. Now some of you are thinking, oh crap, now I got to sell this? Like I can explain it? Yeah, you do. You have to explain it. But here's the thing. There's a list of benefits for the seller of a property. There's a list of benefits for you, and you want to be very honest, open, and ethical. And you want to explain those list of benefits for everybody, right? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's how you win, right? Mr. and Mrs. Agent, here's how you win in this situation. And then, of course, how do I win? I'll explain to you how and why I win, okay? So this deal that I bought, no money down, let me give you a little background story on it. This actually wasn't the first property that I bought from this person. This was the second property that I bought from this person. The first property I bought from this seller, right, had an agent that was representing them. I simply asked that question to the agent, right? Because you don't know unless you ask. And I phrased it right with kind of the right words and the right tonality, and said, hey, are you open to discussing this? Is that something that maybe might make sense? Well, sure. Well, tell me more. What do you have in mind? Okay, right. So I got them to say yes and basically be the bank and sell me a property on terms, which means, right, we're just, figuring out the down payment, the interest rate, and the purchase price, and maybe, a balloon date, and figuring that all out. So we did that. And that property I got for, let's see, I think it was $11,000 down on a $165,000 purchase price. Okay. So the property that I got, that's, the subject of this episode here, that was no money down, was the second one. And why would they do it twice? Well, they would do it twice because I had been already paying them for over a year, maybe a little over a year, on the other property, just like I said I would, right? I'd been paying them consistently on time every month. I've been taking care of their property. I've been improving the property. I've been telling them, hey, by the way, we got a brand new TV here. Oh, we're putting a new dishwasher. We're putting in a new range pretty soon. Doing this and that. We're improving and we're making it nicer. Okay, so I'm making kind of their collateral, right, nicer. So God forbid they have to cancel and foreclose and cancel the deal and take it back from me, which I told them you won't have to do. But if you did, your place is nicer than it was when I bought it from you. Okay. So that's why they were totally open-minded to doing the second one with me. Okay. Now, the second one that they sold me for zero down, no money down, guys. Well, how did I get them from zero down, right? Because the first one I had to pay some money, right? They wanted some skin in the game on the first deal. Second one, I got them to do no money down. Well, I went in and I said, look, this property needs some work. Okay. This property needs to have a lot of improvements, a lot of updates. It wasn't necessarily in really bad condition, but it was definitely outdated, right? She was a little ugly. And I said, if I want to get maximum rents on this Airbnb, which is good for me, which helps me pay you even easier every month, right? Again, I don't want to put doubt in their mind, but I also want them to see that what's better for me is better for them, right? Because again, we're in this together. So I said, I'd rather put the money I'm going to give you, sir, into the property so I can make it nicer and I can get better rents, more consistent bookings, more consistent bookings, which is good for me. And then just makes it easier for me to pay you every month when that's happening, right? Makes sense. And again, God forbid, you don't have to, but God forbid you have to take it back. You're going to get a nicer property than it is today. And so he said, yes, right? Again, you just got to ask the question, right? You don't know unless you ask. So I phrased it why it makes sense to the seller. And those are absolute, truth. Those are truth bombs to why it makes sense to the seller. Now, some sellers might say, it's a great idea, Jesse. I hear what you're saying, but no, right? I want some money down. But that's one of the beautiful things about seller financing is the terms is not just what the bank says, because the bank is the seller. But here's the cool thing. You're the underwriter, right? So the interest rate, the monthly payment, the down payment, the purchase price, the term, all of that is up for negotiation and discussion. And it's whatever is a win-win and makes sense for both parties. So that's why I love seller financing. And that's how I got this short-term rental with literally no money down, zero money down. Now, I will say I put money into the property, right? So you said, Jesse, hold on. You said you put no money into this thing, but you have to fix up the property, right? So tell me, how does that work? Well, here's the cool thing. I have a lot of folks that are, in my life that are real estate investors or want to be real estate investors. And some of the folks that want to get into investing aren't at the right place and time to be able to go to the bank and go, buy a property or buy it in cash. Maybe they're not quite bankable, but they've got capital, right? And so I ended up working with somebody who's a good friend now and an associate. And this person said, hey, I've got money just sitting there and it's not really making anything in my checking account and my savings. And as we all know, it's literally losing money with inflation. Okay. So this person said, hey, if I can make a good, steady, stable return on my money that's just sitting there, I would much rather do that. And if that's how I get into the ball game with investing in real estate, let me know. I've got money just sitting there. So I said, well, here's the cool thing. I would love to give you a nice rate of return on your money that is just sitting there making nothing and losing money to inflation, right? And it's backed by real estate, right? You can see the property, you can see what I'm doing to it, and I'm going to put it into this and fix it up and increase my rents, get more revenue, right? And then, again, what makes sense to you? What do you think for interest rate? What do you think for a term? How quickly do you want your money back? Right? Do you want it back right away? Do you want it back after a few years? Because either way, you just want to get money coming in, right? And so we agreed on that. And so I used this other person's money, OPM, other people's money, right? And again, a win for them because they got to make a much, much bigger return on their money than they were making, which was basically nothing, right? And for me, I truly came in with zero out of my pocket to find this property, buy this property, close on this, and in a matter of weeks, by the way, right? Like a week or two. Because with seller financing, you don't have to wait for an appraisal, wait for underwriting, wait for all of this stuff, right? It's just quick. It's quick. So we just did our normal due diligence, of course, and did a title search and stuff like that. And then bam, closed on it and got it going immediately, got the repairs going. And now here's the cool thing, guys. Here's the cool thing. I want you to see the math on this because this property, oh shoot, I'm trying to think of the purchase price on this one. This property, I believe I got for $120,000. Okay. Now, had I just gone to the bank, right? 20% down of 120,000 would be 24 grand, right? 20% of 120, $24,000 just for the down payment plus closing costs, right? And then there's the rehab money. I think I spent about 10 to 12 grand on rehab money, maybe 12. Okay. So add all that up. Okay. So did I have that? Yeah. Did I want to spend it? No. Okay. Now, if you don't have it, then you don't have it, right? I did, but what if I didn't? So what I did is I went in with zero down payment because I was able to, convince the seller how it made sense for him and for me and for both of us. It's a win-win-win. And then I was also able to go to this friend and private investor and say, hey, here's your money just sitting here not making anything. Let me give you a much bigger return for your money. And it's backed by what I'm doing over here and kind of showing them what I'm doing, right? Kind of teaching them how we did this. And then Now it's worth, and with the market, honestly, just with the market, and that's just luck, right? Let's just be honest. That's a little bit of luck, but then how we improved the property, how we updated it, and all the things that I did to it, then with some cash flow coming in now, right? And then showing that over the last year on my tax returns, now I can go to the bank and then I already have the 20% equity I need. And in fact, because of the fact of how low I got the price, or the price of the property, right? How low I got the property and how much we made it nicer, and the value now and the cash flow and just other properties that have sold in that area, I could go back right now. And not only would I have to not come in and sign and bring them a check, right? I do not have to bring in any more money, even though I didn't put anything down. I would actually get money back, okay? Because I can go refinance my contract for deed up to 80% loan to value of what it's worth. And what it's worth is a lot more than what I paid for it at this point now. And so I could actually go in and get a check. Are you kidding me? So I'm going to get my check back. I'm going to get my money back. It was really never even my money. And I could pay my investor off in full and be done with that. And then I get money and I can go do it again and do it again and do it again. And this kind of goes into what we call the velocity of money, how quickly you can turn over those dollars into more and more and more. So if this is something that resonates with you, if you're looking to get into real estate and try to really maximize the money you have, whether you have a little or you have a lot, it doesn't matter, right? It's all about being smart, being efficient, being effective. And so I love this stuff. I love to teach it. I love to show it. I love to partner with people on it. And I love to just to help. So hit me up with any questions you got. Hit me on the socials. DM me anything you got. Shoot me a text message. You can find the information below. But let me know. And I'll tell you what, even if you're going to the banks and you're getting financing, hey, killer, right? But there's awesome ways to do it where you can do it creatively. Now, not every deal is going to fit that way. Okay, not every deal is going to fit that way. Not every market's going to fit that way. But what's important to know is this is just a tool. It's a tool in your toolbox. And the more tools you have in your toolbox, the more you can get that creative cash flow, right? And start getting lifestyle and money freedom. And that's what we're all about here on the Creative Cash Flow Show. So thanks for joining me. Have a killer rest of your day and let me know how I can help you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.